social media platforms that I got yet. I just kind of just wanted to jump on and say what's up. It's been a while. Sitting in my living room, eating ribs. I got my Darksouls book in front of me. And, I mean, I've been trying to figure it all out. Yeah, sure, we got Vadia and a couple other people out there that are making videos about about the Dark Souls lore. And it's like, alright, fine, that it's good. Like I want to know about it, so let me hear what everybody else has to say. Watching all these videos, and it's like, man, what's going on? Like, they got a good, obvious story going on from what we can see in the game, but sometimes I just wonder, is it more to the story than what they're really telling? Like they're just giving you like little hints here and there what things could be rather than what they are. Man, I've seen some things, I've commented on videos, lore videos by the way. I haven't gotten a response from any of them, and either they're not looking it up or they are looking it up, or they're not responding. I don't know, but I asked some valid questions that I just wanted answered. I want to see if they knew about it, and I didn't get a reply. So I mean, maybe I'll just keep trying to see who I can pull in. But anyway, welcome back to Mega Game Battles. So I'm doing a little something different this time around. It's about Dark Souls and its lore. I got caught up playing Dark Souls 3 a while ago. For a while now, I should say. And I've been doing my little playthroughs and going live, but never really decided that I wanted to actually do the lore, because I've been just collecting it, information that makes sense, so that I can bring this content to you. So I don't know much about it. I know enough where the lords have told me things, but I started just seeing certain things for myself as I played through the game. And it's like, wait, we shouldn't be taking this seriously. It's like, no, I'm not taking it seriously. I just think that if we are going to sit around and play what you would consider a program, right? Because this is basically a software program you play. And they say it's important that, what you're allowing your kid to indulge in and play. For me, even as an adult, you want to watch your gates, right? You want to watch your ears, right? And what you hear, you also, your eyes are another gate. You want to be able to protect your eyes from certain content. And then, there's other things you want to protect yourself from. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to read something or play something, like, they make some things they make so convoluted to the point that you go, what the hell's going on? And, I know a group of people who tend to do that. When it comes down to changing the narrative or changing some things around, or just simply just giving you the different types of jumbled up stories put together that you can't really make too much sense of, because there's still too many questions just to be answered. You're stuck in the middle somewhere. And you just want to just get to the end of this book, and you don't get there. To me, Dark Souls is one of those games. It's one of those games that people not only like to play the game, but they also like to, learn about the lore. I've played with other characters before, and I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm gonna go somewhere else, see if we can get some action. something. I'm gonna try in different places today out of all times, as well as others, to see if somebody kind of jumps on. See if anybody needs help here. So, yeah, so to me, Dark Souls is one of those games. If you are the deep reader, or you pay attention to the story's content, like myself, like the story, even if it's fictional, you know, it just has to make some sort of sense so that it can really be, because they say, oh, not everything can be explained. Sometimes you just gotta look at it in its most simple form. Just go from there. Don't hug it too much. And then we start to plug in our own perceptions or ideas about, certain things that are unknown. I don't know. Maybe I'm going on a rant, but I'm just saying, like, we're playing this game. This game has all these holes in their story. And you want to know, like, what happened? What the hell happened? Yeah, this world is so crazy. Got princess over here that they put to keep away from people and things. A safe haven to keep her so people like us don't get to her. Or other people. And she's like a symbol of part one from the painting world. Right? Because, let's go through it. So, yeah, so we might as well open up about it since we're here, right? So, looking for the item. This is where the hints are. And, there's only so many hints. So you gotta take it what you can get. Just kind of run with it. So, just equip a couple of things. I don't think anybody's gonna summon me when my sign is down. Just trying to equip things now. Have something to do with all of this. Well, not all of this, because the items. So, boom. Yorshka's bell, right? Chime. The sacred chime belonged to Yorshka. Her brother, the former knight captain, presented her with the new together with another gift, her name. So this woman, this god, right? Because she said it was her brother. So that meant that obviously Gwen had more children rather than Gwendolyn, Guinevere, and who we all think, or we all come to believe throughout the game and the things that they write down, that the Nameless King is the first son before Gwendolyn and Guinevere. So there's another daughter that was created. She was stuck in the painted world as a lot of us already know, right? So in the painted world was in Orlando. Now I haven't beat part 1 yet. Like, I'm kind of taking my time with the story, plus Dark Souls 1 just really runs choppy. It's choppy, and that's it really. Some of it is just really slow. It's not as it's good on its visual. They did good, the visuals are good. But when you look at Dark Souls 3 in comparison to 1, there's just so much more to really see, you know. Anyway, so back to the story. So anyway, he has the first three children, and a brother obviously gave her this child. So who's the brother? Everybody automatically points towards the Nameless King. I get that. It's good that, you know, because that's the only brother that we know, right? However, when it comes down to talking about brothers, Gwendolyn, who in part one is somewhat a brother to Guinevere, and also would be the fourth child. The third child would be Gwendolyn, which you don't see or hear much about. And then, of course, then there's the next thing in line, which was this child, which was what they call her Yorshka right now. But in all reality, she was the woman from the painted world. When you think about it, she had to be, you know. They kind of changed her appearance around, so that's kind of misleading in a way. You know, I guess they didn't want to stick to the same type of drawing because then it would be too obvious. So they just kind of tweaked it a little bit. Or you can choose to say, nah, that's not her. And I've also thought about it like that too. Like, yeah, that might not be her because she doesn't really look like it. And in the painted world, it seems as if that's where the gods tuck all of their problems, if you will, or tucks all their things that they want to hide from the rest of the world. But to put it in those harsh places and then not provide them with anything to survive makes it like jail in a way. And in the painted world, there's a lot of, I guess one can consider them like abandoned castles or ruins and towns where, it seems as if Velka was living. Now, Velka being a goddess herself, I often wondered how did we get to talk about Velka? Why? Because Velka would be like the mother to all of the other witches, if you will. So, and at least that's what they lead you to believe when it comes down to there being another being that is another goddess. You start to learn about more goddess as you go along in the game. She could, in my book, she could be placed in two different places until I figure out how or where she really belongs. Like, are you a sibling to Lord Gwyn, or are you a child from someone in the bloodline down the line, obviously, right? So, the only daughters we really hear about was the Witches of Izalith. And then, of course, people say Izalith, right? And then you go, okay, well, when you go there, right, nobody's really thinking about the name, but that's what the place is called. It's not the name of the mother, Now, we don't know what the mother's name is. They just said the Witches of Izalith, and then you go to a place, and that place is called Izalith. That puts speculation. That's room for speculation, in which they do not expound upon. They don't talk about in the videos a lot. They just kind of just still seems like they're either trying to figure it out more or less. But back to Yorshka. So Yorshka, she was from the painted world and for some reason she has a tail. She has what's called the life drain. She has she has a dragon's tail, almost like Seath. So it's like, I don't know who created the painted world. Obviously they have somebody who paints the painted world for them, with the blood of the pygmies, and it's like, damn, why are you using the blood? That's another thing that I would like to expound upon too, when I get the chance, and hopefully I get some viewers in here that will actually want to elaborate as well. If you have PlayStation Network, jump onto your PlayStation Network and just kind of tell me whatever your name is. I'm gonna join you to my group that I currently have that I go live with, and let's have a discussion. Let's open up about it. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out the way, because literally I have a notebook. I have 2 notebooks. They're not filled up with information. I'm slowly working the case, if you will, and I'm doing that because like I said, a lot of things that I see in the videos and stuff like that, it's not that they're false. It just seems like that's as much as much information that they collected and processed, perhaps. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for other people not being able to create the content I'm looking for. All I know is that I haven't seen anything where they're really breaking this thing down and people are understanding what they're actually about to play. And the whole point is the journey, right? So it's not like they're really taking anything from us. Not to stress, guarding your gates and things of that nature, but because the game's a game, you kind of, when you turn it off, you're not there no more. It's just something that you do, whenever you're bored. So, but it becomes programming, to yourself, because you start to see the world at a certain angle, and you're the only person that feels like what you're doing is normal and there's nothing wrong. So, that's why nobody can judge. But anyway, you gotta be careful what you play. You know what I'm saying? And some games like this is cool. Like, I like them. I think that they're very entertaining, especially when they're like this. Like, I'm like very, very well into the game. If that was what they were aiming for, they definitely got it. And I'm not mad about it, because it's all about the journey. But I just want to solve the case and know exactly what the game is about, and I want to play myself. And I think what they've done is they extended the shelf life because it's such a good game, and they didn't tell everything about the game. Like, there are things that they say in the game that seems good, it's decent, but they put so much work into the game to the point that you can make sense of certain things, but it still sounds or looks convoluted. Again, Yorshka's Chime. Yorshka's Chime. Now, she was given this name upon her getting her gift, so it presented her with this medium together with her gift and gave her a bell to ring. Okay, it's a beautiful bell, you know what I'm saying? Unlike all the other bells, you can tell it's benevolent, where it's coming from is all gold with the white trim. This comes from the tree, so it looks more earthy. And, this comes from the church, So, this one looks nice. It looks basic. Not really, it has drapes on the bottom, you know what I'm saying? So it looks dope. This is for the warriors, of course. That should look like I don't know what. You gotta hold it up. It's a talisman, holding something on the top knob or whatever's under it. So this is for the women, which look very nice. For female clerics. And, I just read them as I go along. It says talismans casting miracles of the gods, once a very common item among the ranks of an old way of the white. So this is the first way of the white. Okay, so somebody who's rocking with the way of the white, that's the talisman that they would be using at that current moment in time. I would like to expound upon that as well when it comes down to it, because, man, the world started somewhat with what they were doing in the first place, and it just seems as if it was just the proper order to take out what would be almost like competition, maybe, you know, I think things just really got bad. I mean, anything when it comes down to war, you know, all these questions being asked and stuff like that. You know, like, all right, for instance, let's take a trip since we already came here. I didn't really expound upon too much about your shit. It's not really much to talk about when it comes down to her. It appears she was pulled out the painting. For those who actually pay attention to the lore, of course, some of them, you know, there's going to be a lot of speculators that's going to say yes, you know, she is from the painting, but she doesn't bear her scythe. You know, so that's in question right there. And last time we checked, you know, instead of her coming from a world where it seems as if she would have to be on defense, you know, if the dead are constantly coming after her, you know, having to bring her into a world that looks dead onto a world like this where at least there's still living people, because there is still living people walking around and talking, no different than the people you meet in the kingdom. It's just that this area already has been overrun, you know, close to home. And, you know, as you can see, they abandoned this place and they went somewhere else. I'm going to give you that description right now in this item as we go along. Hold on, I'm going to share this to my social media platform so that people can actually join in when the time comes. If they see it, if they think it's cool, baby. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody worry about nothing. I'm playing. Anyway, let me switch up my shit. Switch accounts. Let's go to my groups. I think we're just gonna post it in there. And I want to thank anybody who decided to tune in. Don't be scared to hit the comments. Let's say what's up. Or just join the Mega Game Battles group, you know what I'm saying? You know, already in there. Alright, I think I already posted it on Facebook. It should be on Facebook. I'm trying to go to my Mega Game Battle Space, but it automatically takes me there because I'm pressing stuff. Let's see if it's actually close. Yeah, it is. Okay, so anyway, yep, let's go over to the item. Right. So I'm trying. Was it a weapon? It's not this item. It's this item. So, ring associated with Guinevere, Princess of Sunlight, eldest daughter. I had to state that out. The eldest daughter. You know, that's very descriptive. And I'm gonna say this. You know, with Dark Souls, you know, they want to be specific and not say certain things. There are little specifics that definitely let you know, like, hey, there's nothing to research here. It's just what it says, you know. And then there's other times that I feel like it's an important item description, and I'm just trying to pull from it, even though it's probably right to work with. You know what I mean by that? I mean, it's shit. So, ring associated with Guinevere, Princess of Sunlight, eldest daughter of Wind, the First Lord. The ring is vaguely worn. like a beam of sunlight, and gradually restoring HP, Guinevere left her home with a great many other deities. Now, this is important. This is very important, okay? Because now she's acknowledging there were other. It says with a great many other deities. Why would they be leaving? Because the darkness is growing, and they don't know what to do, or did they first fled? They first fled because they knew that this cycle was going to come. But we don't really know if it's really about their situation. It could be greater than that. You know, she's just running with her other deities and became a wife and mother, raising several heavenly children. Several. That's more than whatever. You can say more than 7, if you will. Okay? Obviously, she had a kid. Maybe more than, you know, they talk about. Again, it's an open. It's an open. It's like open. It's open-ended. So, you know, it's to be determined what this case is. And as you can see, somebody like Osiros, king, the consumed king, who looks like a dragon or some sort of Sith-looking type of dragon. When you get into this and you start to like pay attention, and you know, I'm leaving my little pause periods, you know, for those who may watch Darksouls later and go, yo, you know what? He's got something to say. Like, he's making a lot of sense, you know, about what's really going on. Because I know I am. This is, you know, it's not just what it seems. It's what it is at this point. You know, they kind of just left, and she had a whole bunch of children. You learn about her maidens in part 1, which I haven't even reached yet. I thought I got far, you know, in the game, which was, you know, going all through Blighttown and going down deeper into, you know, into Izalith. And then there's a deeper level, but I need to find it, I need to deal with it, and I haven't dealt with it yet because, you know, I always come back to 3 to try to figure out what happened over here, and then I know I'm gonna find out a little bit over there. And one thing that bugged me out the most is the fact that why is the tomb of the giants right next to Izalith? The tomb of the giants are right next to Izalith on the same level, you know. Do I believe that there's a certain level of correlation there? Perhaps. Maybe, maybe not. You know? Maybe, maybe not. You know, I don't know. But, again, that's all up for speculation. Going back to the ring, she left. I think they say where she left to. In another item that connects her to the king, the consumed king, that is, who was basically consumed with his work. Probably, you know, with the dragons and whatnot. I guess maybe he joined them, and somewhere down the line, along with him joining them, you know, Guinevere couldn't take it no more. I don't know. Maybe he took the last child she had because she couldn't have no more. I don't know who her child was, but whatever her child. I mean, if we go back to, I mean, yo, when I tell you this, the story is wild, it's bugged out. It's a little bugged out, man. I'm just talking this. like a whole bunch of different things. They may not seem like it connects, but they connect, trust me. So this chick sitting over there, which I don't really, you can't really even see her from here, but she's on top of the tower outside the space, and you can definitely see her from, well, not from, if I use my binoculars, you guys are going to see the banister, so I'm not going to walk over there, but you can see her dress peeking out the bottom of the side, even though it may look like the ground. But anyway, she, you know, the brother that gave her the item, okay, they want to say would be the Nameless King, and if it is the god of war that they speak on the armor set, then it would be Faram, because that's the name of the armor set. That could have been belonged to the person, but no, I don't. It's highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely. All right, let's scroll up for a second. All right, followers. It's the fallen for Nameless King armor. There's his armor set short. So, armor named after a god of war. See, it was named after a god of war. I mean, you don't really have to go much further. It just only gets more confusing because people peck little things out. They don't realize that, you know, what they see in just Darksouls, the game, they believe only affected a certain area, or you know, of their world, that it didn't expand like it would in any other world. You know, information, you know, worship, whatever you want. So the armor of the Ferosa Lion Knight was preserved. So see, Ferosa Lion Knights, the armor of Ferosa. So obviously, Ferosa was a place, right? Could have been heavenly place, or it could be on just regular earth, you know. Was preserved even after the destruction of their homeland, and is mentioned in numerous legends alongside the names of those who are said to have gone beyond death. So beyond death, I mean, gods are living a long time, aren't they? And of course the first son is God, like, so, you know, he had powers. So, and he's known to be the god of war. Anyway, so there's no argument in that. Like, I'm not gonna argue about it with anybody. Like, no, his name's something else. No, until you can show me something else, you know, then this is what it's gonna be. I'm not gonna complicate that. It was an easy catch. It was an easy find, and I know that's kind of maybe what they want. They can make that the situation too. Again, the description is talking about a place not in Orlando. And mind you, there's somebody who you fight in the game who's wearing the armor set, and he's guarding the upstairs. So he's like one of their, I don't know what you want to call them. He's one of the soldiers in the rankings, and that would be right here with these rings right here. So a knight's ring. So he's a knight. That's basically what he was. The individuals that were standing on the stairs in the game, which we'll go to maybe if somebody calls us into play with them, you'll see. Increased strength, obviously, because it's for knights, right? So it says, in Lothric, the knights has long been considered one of the three pillars of the king's rule, and were thus allowed to rear dragons. Okay, so I mean that was easy right there. So it's a king's knight, obviously, right? And then if you go back to the other armor sets, you'll learn that that the knight also, the king also had 4 individuals that he kept not at his side. They could have just been his generals for the most half. And what they would do, so you find a giant who has impeccable aim even while he's blind, that goes to the hunters, you know, and of course you find a hunter that is at the staircase of this whole thing of when you're trying to make it up, no, not up here, um, when you're going to the other side of the kingdom. I forgot what it's called. But, well, it's not kingdom. It's the Grand Archives, excuse me. It's the Grand Archives. He's there. Well, one of he's like one of three. The individual that you see on the ring. So it says the hunters serve Lothric on the fringe of the shadows. For generations, rulers of Lothric have replied, especially upon the Black Hands or whatever, the blah 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 blah. Now, a lot of you would say, well, how does that connect to that in some sort of ways? Well, for one, I don't know for sure, because the game is always subjected to, again, somebody else's perception might be better than mine, you know. And I'm willing to listen, you know what I'm saying, but I don't have to change my perception unless I have, you know, reasons to believe that that's the case. And if I need to do further research before I can, you know, accept it, then that's what I'll do. But other than that, Varys' hat doesn't look anything like let's see if I probably passed it. This right here is wider, it stands out, right? So I don't know. The individual that's in there, I don't know where the brothers come from. I mean, these individuals were like assassins, you know, and I think that they were probably also sent out just the same way ninjas were sent out. You know, there had to be some sort of connection with the Eastern world. And this is where, again, it might seem like I'm jumping, but I'm only connecting the dots here. Like, I'm trying to get people to understand that, you know, there's certain connections to certain things that do explain the story. And, I mean, the creators of this game did a really good job. But these were the assassins. These were the hunters. They were the ones that were supposed to go out and do the type of work that the average person couldn't do. Look, it says it right there. It says, you know, for generations, rulers of Lothric have relied especially upon the Black Hand hunters to punish enemies in ways the king's 3 pillars could not. So this ring is not considered one of the 3 pillars. Alright? You know, these are not 4 pillars. This is a ring specially created for those who were part of it, but they weren't. They had to remain under in a secrecy. Now you're like, okay, so I done went from talking about the Nameless King to talking about Asaros, which is the there you go. My daughter wants to play. And to the, what do you call it, Osiris being married to Guinevere, and, you know, Guinevere, and then there's Gwendolyn, who has snakes for legs, you know, that's holding them up, and supposedly cast an illusion. I don't know how much of an illusion did it really cause. I mean, they said that it was an illusion simply because of Darksouls 3, basically, which in the other item I was supposed to show you, that explains that she basically, I mean, inside the ring says that she left, right? She left her home, and then there's a place where they actually, a ring or an item where it explains what she lost. I mean, where she went to when she left. Alright? Anyway, so going back forward again. So, So these were this. I only have 2 here because I like to store away anything that I'm not using, so that way I can get to the items that I want much faster. But I'm gonna put them all out soon if I'm gonna be doing these videos. So, the king had 4 knights. So he had 3 pillars, 4 knights, right? 2. I don't believe, like, I mean, he had 2. Obviously, he only wanted it to make for the public to know that he basically had his son, which to me is Gwendolyn, the Nameless King, or maybe Param. It could be Faram, could be the Nameless, whatever you want to call him. Either which way. So this ring goes out to the woman. Siren, you see her in part 1. I haven't gotten that far to fight Altorius, but she obviously was in love with him, and you know, you see in part 1, she was like the woman that would go in, sneak around, and get rid of you. Again, you see her, her weapons, they're all sneaky like, you know, and not sneaky like, not use that term, but she had daggers and knives and shit. She didn't have any big artillery. So, as far as I know, Altorius was more of the swordsman. That's another ring that I have, but I don't have it out in my box right now. And there's an right. So Altorius had an unbendable will of steel, and was unmatched with the great sword. So he was considered one of 4 knights. So to me, everything just kind of went down in a certain order or a certain way, you know. And they tend to do that like that because it's just the frequency that they flow on with this game. So anyway, unmatched with the great sword, and Artorius was one of the knights. Okay, they were all considered knights, by the way, right, of Gwen. So this one obviously correlates with the knight's ring, having strength and keeping poise. Okay, and as you can see, any knight can eventually move himself up in status if he wants to, and in that process can become, I don't know, I mean, from a knight to being of the highest status, which would be of the 4 knights. So just trying to pay attention to my daughter. She's distracting me right now. Okay. So this one matches with this one, which is the hunter's ring. The black hand. The flower. Okay. And their sects, Okay, don't confuse that. Okay, like section, sect. They're sects. Okay, has to remain hidden. It has to remain as its nature. Its nature is hunter. You know, it's a better word for um. You know, and whoever she was, her dexterity and boosts your critical. So, you know, that's very quick movements. And you know, when you're gonna do backstabs, that's critical. That's a critical hit right there. You know, I mean, it's not too far out of its range. The other two rings I can prove to you are the same. They represent somewhat of the same type of status. So you know, there's another ring I have. I'm gonna take it out, but I gotta get this out. Like, we have to like pay attention to these types of details, because then it allows us to see things in a light that most people aren't really seeing. And it's right in front of our face. It's just that, again, when I play with players online, you know, I tend to pick their brain to see what they know. I'm not trying to, you know, assert what my perception or my ideas are, unless they literally ask me, like, hey, you know, like they literally ask me, you know, like, hey, you know, what about this or what about that, you know, and I'll expound upon the idea, and I will talk to them about it, you know, as something to consider. You know, it's this idea, you know what I'm saying? And if we can make more sense of it, then I think that all the puzzling pieces will come together. A lot, again, I'm not discrediting anybody else who makes like videos and stuff like that on on um YouTube or anything like that. I'm actually a big fan of all the people who actually took the time to actually do it. Yeah, and I hope that they keep on creating more content or trying to figure out, you know, what's going on. You know, did they fight an endless battle enough just so that everybody can get away? You know, I know Gwen got away. Not Gwen. Guinevere got away. You know, she couldn't take it. Philionor is supposed to be the daughter of Gwen that he tucked away down under. Not down under, excuse me. I consider it like down in the Ring City. Playing Dark Souls 1, you know, playing Dark Souls 1 and then seeing fragments of it in Ring City has opened up a whole can of tuna for me. You know, my mind is trying to make sense of it, and I cannot. They could have simply just made it look like that on purpose so that people can think like that, but you know, I have major speculations about the demon when you fall down to fight the twin demons. I personally just don't see it like that's a coincidence. I think that it was there not to remind you, because when you look at the stage, you look at the middle part where you actually fall straight down, that area alone is almost like the same idea, the same thing. It was a circle area, just like when you play in part 1 and you actually make it after the bird drops you off there. It's a large raven. Um, they're just doing their stuff in the background and allowing time to pass. And it's like this crow has been picking the undead up every time one becomes worthy, plucking them out of the jails or plucking them out of certain things, and then basically telling them, because everybody else along the path tells them, to keep on going, keep linking the fire. Do not let the fire burn out. Keep going, because we can't do anything. This is the only way that it's gonna work. And there's this serpent coming up, daughter, right? Coming up in part 1, telling you, you must rekindle the fire. And then later on in the game, gonna come across you and tell you, Lord Gwyn has blurred your past, and blah blah blah. And alright, so they're two separate serpents, okay? Two separate serpents, mind you. Now, what you want to do is you want to hide stuff in plain sight, like these dudes do. And you want to make it not shine too much, because if you make it shine too much, it becomes an obvious thing to see. You don't want it to be obvious. You want it to pass by the human eye, fall into the subconscious, and be forgot about. So when everybody, mostly the people that I play, even if it's for fun, normally they'll just go straight for the plank look. And I haven't seen anybody wear a shield that wasn't of some sort of status or look. Very rarely you see somebody with like a random thing, and you would know that they're just clowning if they did it, because they're just kind of just putting characters together that look a funny way, and but never really given thought to these smaller shields to be able to hold a certain type of information that leads things into a certain path with just a simple symbol, because it's not about the shield. The only message that you want to see and you want to pay attention to is the Caduceus round shield. Look, I mean, the only thing that makes it stand out the most is the fact that it's this nice winter green, for a shield. I mean, there's some other great shields. I mean, no, I wouldn't rock that. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care too much about that. I would have, I don't really care too much about that. This one looked cool for a small shield. This one looks cool too, but it's just, I don't like small shields. I don't. If I do rock one, just like I gave this one like the benefit of being blessed, it's to match my attire. There's not a lot of things here that can match your attire, so I don't really give too much to it. So anyway, so the Caduceus round shield. Why, right? Why the Caduceus round shield? I'm gonna tell you why. Standard wooden shield. It is decorated with twin snakes, an ancient symbol of the Great Swamp. Wooden shields are like blah blah blah. No need for that. Everything's right there. An ancient symbol of the Great Swamp area. The Great Swamp area in part 1, okay, would be considered Blighttown. Okay? Of course it's going to be swamp-like. Nothing is going to really grow up out of there, because you got fire, burning from the inside of the earth. It's really not that far from Izalith. So the lands are going to be all jacked up. It's going to be messed up looking, swampy like, because nothing's going to grow there. You know what I'm saying? Unless it was made to grow in that condition. So it's a swamp, and it just so happens that's where the twin snake, they use twin snakes for their symbol. No, to me, okay, what that is more of the same gameplay dealing with the Sable Church, which was created probably a little after, or even before, I forgot the name of this place, New Londo, before New Londo fell, or after New Londo fell. You know, they drowned the whole city. They flooded it with water, so the people would drown, and the undead would drown under there too. So it was like their way of trying to get rid of this curse or whatever, and it just keeps seeping up and seeping up, right? And it's coming from right under them. Like, oh, what the hell does this have all to do with, you know, the twin demons, right? No, because you see, the twin demons is a separate affair, even though it's still symbolic for what you see on the Caduceus. Okay. Now I hope people, when y'all listen to this, I hope y'all really pick up on this information, because I'm telling you, like, you don't pay attention to the true storyline of what's going on. You know, it's like, why does it matter? Why does it matter? It's like, yo, then what are we playing this game for? Just because it's just running around, it's just fun, it's just programming our minds and stuff like that? No, I want to be able to look a little deeper into the game. I want to see more. I want to understand more. I want to know what's going on. When I play the game, I play it with purpose. You know, I play it because it's fun and it has purpose in the game. You know, you want to be able to replicate your energy and how you feel into anything that you do. That's what makes it more pleasurable, when you can do it your way and do it right. My character, you know, is a king. That's how I see myself in this world. You know, I'm going to have everything that I deserve, and everything I deserve is everything that I'm going to have, and what I continue to have, you know, and it's a blessing, you know, it's a blessing. You know, life shows us different things. So, you know, for me, the crown, the garb from the cathedral, the banner, which helps people at the same time bearing, you know, it's almost like the cross, regular cross as we know it, right? So, these are all representations of like what I would like is the best I can do. But anyway, going back to the Caduceus. So the Caduceus shield is basically, it tells me that the serpents were already involved in the pyromancy thing that they had going on before that whole thing really blew up the way it did. I mean, I don't know. That's another part of the story I need to figure out. Like, did Gwyn make the call for the Witches of Izalith to do that? You know, it couldn't have been the mother that was, her name was Izalith. You know, we can definitely fantasize about that concept and that idea. We can exercise the thought. You know, but honestly speaking, there's a connection between the serpents in that area falling with the magic thing. Now, why do you say that, right? You're like, oh, well, what proof do you have besides what the two serpents say? All serpents don't say, but that doesn't mean that is all bad, or it's all this, or it's all that. No problem. No problem. Let me see, because they affected this place too, the church. You know, with the darkness that they had grown. You know, that's constantly growing, that, you know, that they can't get rid of. You know, who knows? You know, it could have been a dragon spell used against the pygmies. Maybe not. You know, I don't know. But, you know, you can tell it was something bad, or that something's up when it comes down to dealing with Filianor and that damn egg. You know, why an egg? She's protecting an egg, and then we're dealing with dragons flying around, and then inside of that hole was just dark. It was this black mucus-like substance on the inside. So it's like, it's weird, you know. Hold on, did I put my sign down? I didn't put my sign down. Let me put my sign down so I ain't trying to write over my shit. Asshole, nah. They probably didn't see my sign down there at one point, and that's okay. Closer to my name. Let's see. He want me to see his. He want to try to compete. He said, "Good luck." Try stabbing in the back. Let there be help me. Oh boy. Anyway. Yeah, so in the very first Dark Souls game, you see two serpents. One telling you to go for the light, the other one telling you don't go for the light. That's duality in this world. You know, the serpents, they're entitled to their own opinion as well. You know, and how they do stuff. So, you know, there's a duality going on with them in part one. Then you see them. Then you see the Caduceus on the shield, and you like these two serpents. Where they come from? You know, they're coming from the underworld. They're coming to get closer to, you know, mankind, to do its work, to tell you, yeah, do this, do that. You know, just trying to keep the light in the world, even though the world is being destroyed, and is being destroyed as long as we put up a fight. But it's like, oh, this is part of the cycle. Why are you fighting the cycle? So when you listen to Koth, you know, and the other guy, I forgot his name, you know, it's like they both have great ideas. You know, one wants you to make the fire to keep light burning, to keep the light going, and then the other half is saying to you, no, don't do that. They're lying to you. It's crazy, but it's where the Chaos Flame started, down below, and that area is sinking. It looks like when you go to Blighttown, like they're doing their best to keep, well, they were doing their best to keep it open, but it's like, what you gonna keep it open for? What were you guys digging in the mountain in the first place? That's what it looks like. All this, you know, they got boards that go across here and there, then they're inside there in the earth, and I mean, the stories could be crazy, you know, like, why are we're not gods, we're not giants, and gods came here and started playing around, and they were like, well, we can't fight these demons, so we're gonna put a seal on these people so that they can never ever, the darkness can never grow in them, because if it ever got too strong and too wielded, you know, well, if they became too strong and came into their power, knowing their power, it would just do a whole lot of damage because there's no control, you know. But there is control, and there was control prior to that. You know, with the dragons, you know, they I guess they respect. You see them together on the walls. You know, this was a time when everything was good, you know, and it just so happens that the sun, if you want to call him the Nameless King, you know, he decided, well, you know what, like, maybe we don't have to be fighting with the dragons. We can work with the dragons instead of killing all the dragons. But when you see the Nameless King, he's not even riding on a dragon anymore. He's riding on what they call a storm drake, which could be a baby dragon or a dragon of a different type, because it wasn't a dragon. It was more like a bird. And they look a lot like the gurus, who come from also, you know, in demon ruins. Okay? For the most half in this game, you see a lot of war. You see a lot of stuff that's going on, that's disgusting in the game. And yeah, yo, why are they going to war? They're killing all these demons. All the demons are dying. You know, the gurus are growing more. You know, And I'm even going down there and just trying to put things together in the story. It's kind of bugged out what they had going on down there. But I know we jumped 2 times fold past uh what do you would call the Nameless King, not the Nameless King, Osiros. Osiros, who's married to, well, what they say was married to Guinevere. He must have been like the next person in line to infiltrate and get close to the gods. You know, Seth being the one that they picked on, supposedly, he was the smartest of the dragons. He was the smartest. He didn't have big brushy scales to protect him. He was very delicate, but he had a very advanced mind. He told what was the weakness of his brothers to the enemy so that he could live a much better life. You kill him in part 1 if you choose to do so, or if you need to do so, because I think he's holding one of the Lord vessels. And so they're there to protect it. What Gwyn had established before he gave himself to the flame, which became almost like an eternal flame, because he gave himself to it, so that way sun can still be up and things can still keep going till they figure out how to get rid of this dark spirit, or this dark soul, this darkness that's coming into the world that they don't want to come into the world. Trembling by the idea that the dark is something so bad to be in, it's like that in almost any world. I mean, would you like being stuck in a coffin and it closed and buried alive? No. You would want to kill yourself, just so you don't have to experience it. So, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, Gwen was like so gripped by fear that he was like, "Alright, I'm gonna save Guinevere," and she fled to another place, right? They had to get her out the castle. They didn't realize how deep it was. They say Gwendolyn is the son of Gwyn, Lord Gwyn. But there is no accord that says that, really. There are items here and there. I'm not gonna lie. By the way, I'm just waiting for somebody to summon me in. As soon as somebody summons me in, we can see some action going on. But yeah. I don't believe that it was Gwendolyn who's the other son. But they do give a description. So, ring of the son's firstborn. Okay? Who inherited the light of Gwyn, the first lord. The firstborn inherited the light. Okay? When you look at Guinevere, you don't see light. The sun's firstborn was once a god of war, and we already covered that with the armor set. Until he was stripped from his stature as punishment for his foolishness. No wonder his very name has slipped from the annals of history. Ring of the moon deity Gwendolyn, unlike Guinevere, youngest son of Gwen, the firstborn. So he's known as the Dark Sun, commanding the Dark Moon Knights and bestowing this ring upon the best of them. So, I mean, yeah, obviously he had another son. Hold on. He had another son. And that's just what it is. I don't really like the idea that they kind of gave it that spin, because then that confuses things even more. So if you start to think about Gwendolyn, you say, what are all the snakes for? And who did he have a kid with? You know, who was the mother? You know, was the mother somebody bad? Was somebody good? No? And the reality of it is just like, yeah, like, she would have to have had some sort of snakes or what? Because why would he be riding on snakes? So what kind of experiments was going on in the castle, right? Who did he have sex with? Who did Gwen have sex with? Oh, who did Gwen have intercourse with? Who? Well, when it comes down to it, what are you left with? Hmm? Hmm? Right. Velka is with birds. That's her whole thing. Whether she's one or not, that's what it is. You don't get snakes from birds. So what happened? And why is the other daughter with a tail? You know, it's like, how can I put this? Was it a hybrid child that was created? And that's what the videos speculate on YouTube, you know. The only snake-like things are Koth and the other one, I forgot the name of them. And, well, okay, like, two snakes, once again, from Darksouls. Um, and here is Guinevere with something like Sif, who I assume was once a regular looking king but started worshipping. And there's one thing I learned about this game that is, it's very key, it's very simple to understand. It's just that the concept is different when the game does not continue to carry out the proper protocols to carry out that would make it so very true. Okay? And it writes in it, it lets you know in the description that it honors it. It just doesn't continue to honor the hold on. Yeah, they're over here. Here they are. So, gain the dragon's head, emit that breath, right? Let's show item info for a second. So stone imbued with the power of everlasting dragons uses a secret rite by the dragons worshipped. It says gain the head of a dragon and emit dragon breath. A transformation that is irreversible until death. So you see, things that die, right, don't come back, but the undead comes back, and this using the dragon's head, well, it doesn't keep you in that transformation form. You get turned back into your normal body. But when you go to Archdragon's Peak, anybody who turned into a dragon is still in dragon form. Maybe they did it out of respect of being in the temple and keeping the form, you know. But like it says, a transformation that is irreversible. So these people who are going to they're going to devote themselves over to the dragons have to know that, yeah, you want to be of our family, then you will look like our family, and you will act as we do. People, they have worshippers in their temple who died there. You know, they have like these big serpent like summoners, and they cast magic. You know, there were serpents in the in that castle you go into, Fort whatever, in part 1. There were snakes in there as well, guarding it from anybody trying to get past to get into Anne Orlando. If they could pass everything in there, then naturally they would be worthy to go up. You know, apparently that's what that area was for. You know, and that's good, because then they would know more or less, like, you know, this person can take on the task if they traversed all these things. They can keep moving forward. They can come into our realm in the mountains if they really wanted to, and if it was worth it. Because you'd have to go through all of that, make it up to the top, and then be able to get in. So, I mean, that's a lot. No. No. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, it's irreversible process, and those who go up there, they're regular humans. They're not even undead yet. So they would be animated. But as you can see, when you go up there, there's a lot of them sitting around in their resting place, unscathed, unmoved. It's not like you can move them anyway, you know. So they definitely died as a human and not as or didn't get served with the mark, you know, the seal. Excuse me. They didn't get the seal. So, not handed, not, you know, so they didn't have the seal put on them by Gwen, and the dragons all died. However, their um, former head person or head dragon died in the mountain there that they worshipped, who had landed there first. There was a lot of people who still respected the dragons and wanted to go and be a follower of the dragons. One of those people in the game is one of the guys that was in the group, and he was going after them. I forgot his name, but he was part of the Knights of the Kingdom, of course, at one point in time, probably, maybe, and then joined the Wolves, whatever, Legion, the Abyss Watchers. They eventually became after being stuck in the loop, and he managed to escape. And even though he was kicked out, or his demise came because he decided that he was going to wear a shield. That's this shield right here. And I mean, I've been trying to make out what that shield is or what it represents or whatever, and I can't. I mean, even in the detail that I see it as right now, I still can't. It doesn't match with anything else in the game. Like, it doesn't match with anything in the game. Anything. Okay? So I don't know where it came from. I know that it looks stone-like. He covered it with some rags that he had, maybe to cover up the emblem. I'm not sure. But that's another investigation that I'm doing on the low, on the side. I mean, maybe I'll come across its symbol somewhere in the game, or maybe I'll just understand. Or maybe I'll just understand eventually. It'll just come to me. I don't know. I'm not even sure. Anyway, let me see now. I know I went really far ahead. So we already know the serpents, their involvement into. Oh my God, no! No! No more picture book, because it's made with paper, which is kind of stupid. Shouldn't have to leave that out, right? Anyway, so the serpents belong. They have something to do with the darkness and going along with the balance. As you can see, there was 2 of them in the game. There was 2 of them that told you to do one thing or another in part 2, and people keep playing the game and finding out more and more stuff, and the balance just hasn't really happened yet. And I guess the balance comes when the right thing comes along for what's supposed to be done, you know. I don't know. It's a balancing act, I guess, at this point, when it comes down to what Gwen has set up and wanted everybody to be a part of, I assume. So that they can actually keep the world of light alive. But it's like, how much longer? Like, what? Like, if there's no more light in the sky, where are you gonna get light from? You know, at least there's fire on the earth before they leave, before they left this realm. Like, oh, now the darkness is growing. because they, to me, probably, committed the first sin in the world by trying to keep the light of day, or keep the age of fire going. In the process, sacrificed a flame to ignite it. And to be honest with you, I had a lot to say about that too. The Witches of Izalith having to do what they did to get the ball rolling. That's not bad. It's horrible, if you ask me. It's horrible. Because a soul looks just the way a fire looks. And a fire looks exactly the way a soul would look. So they decided that they were going to take a soul and try to ignite it and with experimentation. Either almost nothing. Sorry, I'm writing Oreo cookies. So, the Dark Soul lore is very much convoluted. But when people do it, when they pay attention, they can see everything. It's got to become clear, even though some things don't make no sense. I'll give you an example. Seath. Okay. Not Seath, but Koth looks just like the same group of these individuals, what these individuals look like. It's a face forming from a snake's body, you know? Like, what's up with that? And he let it. This is the king. You let a snake be plastered into a form on your church? Now, to certain people who might watch this later and go, that's so prejudiced. Snakes aren't bad. They just got a bad rep. You're right. So does rats and everything else, you know. But it's not just about that look of it being bad. Two of these serpent lights, one said to link the fire and another one said no. That, my friend, is enough proof for me to know that it is made to put in question linking the fire. Look at the sky. It looks like there's just heat and smoke in it. And, you know, it's supposed to be nice in the afternoon or the night. And this is what it looks like all day. And he's in the church. I mean, he's in the Grand Archives. Made his way into the Grand Archives. Now, there's the king. There's the lady, right? Who covers her face and her mouth and has her hand out. Then there's another one. Because really, he's supposed to be holding the world in his hand. Then there's the one with the wax all over him, which would be like intelligence. Okay? So intelligence, faith, and what is the king supposed to be? No. It doesn't have anything, and this is where it gets thrown off. How does a statue like Koth get put inside of the Grand Archives? I'll tell you why. Because the king allowed it. The king allowed it. He said, it's okay because our former king did the same thing. So, let's go check on my daughter. Sorry about that. The king allowed it. Following Gwyn's steps, he took the enemy inside. And now all of this other stuff is befallen. The Grand Archives, the church, you know. You let him in. Keep him out. Look. Laughing away. Ha ha ha. Made my way in here. I'm in here too. Like, how did you get in here? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, these guys don't represent... This is Lloyd. If it's not Lloyd... Oh shit, I got scared. If it's not Lloyd, then it's King Osiris. Osiris, if you will. Who does she represent? I don't know. She's not holding a baby. She could be anybody. She could be Velka, for all I know. I don't know. But we just gotta put it together. And of course, this one person from all the books and stuff like that, reading and stuff like that, I don't know why they decided they're gonna just mess it all up and just put the wax all over everything. That's disgusting. Like, what is the symbology of that? The cup runneth over, but there's no fire. Use what you know. You know? And then there's the snake. Somebody summoned us. Are you gonna look up the food in the app? Come, show me. And I got summoned. So yes. You know. AK. Let me find out that you still here, homie. You still here, man? Alright. I'm gonna try to get past this again. Alright, let me switch up my weapons. I don't want to hit them with magic. They need to be hit with something more like dark.
play around with him. Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, I heard you. Alright, so you want to run through this. I didn't know you wanted to run it. Okay. You want to fight. Put it on that hand. I'm alright with that. About to cast me a little, look at this bastard. Oh my god. Switch up to my shield. And thank you. I needed that heal, man. What you waiting for? That'll do. Woo! Yeah. Oh my god. How you catch me that way, bro? Come on now. Come on now. Ain't you gonna tell me I ain't got enough to heal yet? Oh shit, wait a minute, just hold. Oh, too late now. Oh no. And then the back hit. I knew it, yo. That's some bullshit right there, son. You didn't know I was coming. I heard him disappear. I don't know where he went. Right. Oh, he almost fucked me. No, I don't mind. Oh, shh! Y'all could not move, yo. Wow. Rolled in the wrong direction. Anyway. Yeah. There's a lot of questions I got. Every time I go live, it's going to be about this. So be prepared to have Dark Souls discussions, because I get tired of somebody put their thing right on the spot where I put my name down at. That's cool. Put my name right next to theirs. Try ally. Yeah, but that's not... Alright, so, yeah, why would you put somebody like that in your church, man? You know, why? Like, it don't make no sense. You know? Everybody deserves a chance, but, you know, there's boundaries, you know? But anyway, these guys, they kind of represent not the 4 knights of Gwyn, but the 4 pillars. Well, the 3 pillars. And only to a degree, you know. That could be Cirilla-like, you know. And there's book for intelligence, that's one aspect, of course. You know, and then there's the snake. You know, and I don't know, that's magic, so that's intelligence again. You know, this is intelligence again. And then this is faith. Like, I guess, I don't know. I don't know who she would be. You know? But I mean, some speculation. What are you looking at as far as the menu? Yeah, I know you did, but I'm online right now. No, I don't want... That's better. Alright, so... Do I want to what? Yeah. I don't know. Oh yeah. Good, I can use that. Beating so bad, man. Still had to take the hit. Every time I play with him, it's like sloppy. It's a very sloppy mess. I don't know why it's like that. Like I said, a very sloppy mess. Anyway, this is not my first go wrong with AK, go round, and he just like run up on him and just have to take a lot of hits. And it's like, nah man, let's be a little bit more strategic, let's just go straight to the master. Let's go to the master. I don't know. No, can you bring it over here, please? Why didn't you just bring her over here? I'll be quiet. Just been talking the whole time I've been online. He does his what? Man, give me the phone, y'all. You don't know.
Yes, it is. Want me to look it up? Because I've ordered it before.
So you just, then that's what you should have said. You talking about look for it, it says it right there. Where? Does it say it anywhere?
Usually I have the description on the scene. They change it.
I wouldn't have asked you.
Yeah, but barbacoa, I think that's like the steak.
They already have steak.
But I think it's steak like on a barbecue style, like pork.
I'll try the barbacoa. It's asking you to choose half.
You don't have to select unless you want it.
They charge guacamole is ridiculous here.
Give me this.
So, that's what I was saying. I don't even know what I was saying anyway. If this guy doesn't summon me, I'm out. Oh, look at that. So, yeah, he let him in the church. And it's no different than him getting into New Londo. And from New Londo, you know, spawn other things. Where the four kings were. And, you know, they got corrupted. And they just wanted to drown that whole area out. Because they wanted to destroy it. You know? So, what's going on? Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see what we want to do. Okay. So we're running. Okay. Ooh, almost got me! Yeah, I'll take some. Sure. Then we can melt some cheese on them. Then I can melt some cheese on it. Okay. Ooh. Hit him with a 1-2. What you really want is, oh, yeah, this is good. One last round. There we go. Oh, got me good. Oh, you missed, sucker ass knuckle. Woo, caught him right in time. Yeah, you knew that was late, homie. You knew that was late. Oh! Okay. I see how we doing it. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So. The undead was turning up. Like that. A while back. And the way of the white were the individuals that were taking a hold of that whole situation through the practices of taking people in the wrong way. I think a lot of them were just gonna become undead anyway. So it's like, you know, all these people going to church, and it's like, you guys can't stop this disease that's gonna spread amongst the earth, because there's a power balance that's going on. You know, and the darkness, I don't know if they don't say that the dragons were the reasons why the darkness is growing. But when you look at, let's see, oh, sorry, folks. I believe it's a ring, or I think it's a ring. Here we are. Covered us silver, covered us gold. Let's read the silver before the gold, shall we? Okay. A silver ring depicting a snake that could have been, but never was, a dragon. Fallen foes yield more souls. it seems as if the snakes that are that never was, or that could have never been. It says a snake that could have been but never was a dragon. Fallen foes yield more souls. Snakes are known as creatures of a great avarice, devouring prey even larger than themselves by swallowing them whole. Says a silver ring depicting a snake that could have been, but never was a dragon. Let's go to the next one. A gold ring depicting a snake that could have been, but never was a dragon. Fallen foes are more likely to drop items. Not concerned with souls, but concerned with items. That was me. I wanted souls in the beginning too. Then when you finally get up there so that you can take on an individual, now you're looking for items. That's like the next thing that you go for in this game. You know, you go for your souls and you go for your items. Right? I know there's one that I want, but I have to wait to boost my luck up a whole lot before I start all over. And I'll wait till I have enough souls, because I'm going to go after certain swords. You know, because I know that they exist. I know that they can be gotten. You know, snakes are known as creatures of great avarice, devouring. Okay, so this is the same thing. It says another one. It says if one's shackles are cause for discontent, perhaps it is time for some old-fashioned greed. Notice how they say if one's shackles are causes for discontent. Somebody's discontent because of the shackles, right? It's what they say. And this is where it gets interesting in this game. You know? When you start joining covenants, like which covenant would you go for? You know? Okay. Guess I can't see them there. Alright. Mound makers. A malformed vertebrae found in the by the mad with a queer symbol of the gods. The mound makers wish only to add to their mounds, becoming mad spirits, whether summoned as cooperatives or invaders. They are bliss to those around them, for in their minds any kill might lead to another shackle. So they're only concerned with getting more vertebrae, more shackles, right? That's what the mountain makers are. That's what they say that's what they are. They're mad spirits that just go after any kind of soul for another vertebrae. Okay? Here's the item. I think I have one vertebrae left. That's a piece of a shackle. A special bone collected by members of the Covenant of Mound Makers. Discovered on the corpse of the victim. Only one such bone is found in the vertebrae, and the Mound Makers believe it to be a shackle of the gods. In their minds, each victim is another connection and addition to the family.
kind of stuck being caught in that type of duty. Just want to always have to go and take what's shackling them down is within their pelvic region. That's where the curse marks the human being, I believe. That's what they call it, the curse of the gods. You know, pale tongue. Here it is. So yes, a special bone collected by whatever. So, you know, these things, but they're important to store. You know, who the gods are steered in the pelvic region of the human body. That's where they put it, inside of them. We grow from our center, so. Alright, so let's move into another area. I would like to walk around this one, but normally it's the same shit. Everybody's so flooded, So, talking more about Darksouls. So, you know, I mean, I haven't covered a whole lot. You know, I'm just talking about it, some of its lore, and what exactly are we in for dealing with this game. Is it something that's going to keep going? You know, they have a whole bunch of different types of soul games that are out. This one is more worldly, I guess you could say. So boom. Here we are at the Nameless King, and it reads, "They will remain once the bell is tolled." Meaning that's the end. Travel to the path of the dragon, do not really good. Path of the dragon.